God, this show's off the rails already. We haven't even started yet. Jesus.
Happy Friday!
Welcome to Lake Effect Lounge, everybody. I am Jared Fatty Bates. He is Brett Phillos. We're here to bring you some drunken sports content and some other stuff as we get along. I think we have a full plate of sports tonight. We do have a special guest waiting in the green room right now. But welcome in on Lake Effect Lounge. Give us a like and subscribe on Network 216, our channel right there. Catch us on YouTube and all of our socials at Network_216. All right, Brian, it's your turn.
Happy Friday, y'all. I got a beer in hand. It's a great day to be alive. I think Brian needs a helmet with those glasses. We'll see if we can go. We got Bobby in here. You know what? Let's not leave these people in suspense. Let's bring them on in. You know Brian a little bit better than I do. Can you give him the grand entrance? Like a WWE entrance? And now weighing in. Weighing in at 215 pounds, 6'4" tall.
I don't think he's 6'4". Are you? If nod yes if you're 6'4".
Ah,
okay.
Damn.
All right. So we're gonna go a humble 5'11", 195 pounds, batting cleanup for your Cleveland Guardians with the MLB Guards cast with Mike Voorhees. He is Mr. Bryan Shaw.
Hey, boys.
What's going on, buddy?
I'm good. I think you had the weight right. I'm probably floating around 215, something like that, but I'm 6 foot.
Well, I was closer with 5'11". we got Lurch over here at like 6'8". Play basketball.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been told I was short by any means, but I do have back when there was Guards Fest and Tribe Fest and all that. I have a picture standing next to Bradley Zimmer, and that man dwarfed towered over me. He made me look like a little guy.
I'll tell you what, though, if you stand next to Jose Ramirez, you're a giant.
Ooh. Yeah, he's my wife is very short. And they have a picture together, and he wasn't much taller than her. But you know what? He packs all that power into that little body, and we love him for it. So he can be as short as he wants.
I'm not going to lie. When I went to Guards Fest, I started giggling because I saw him and Carlos Santana walking together. And I'm like, okay, they're just normal guys. Like, I thought you guys were bigger. Like, what's this? Like, okay. Like Carlos is only a couple inches taller than Jose, so he's not even that tall. But it just caught me off guard because you see them on TV and they're huge, and it's like then they walk down the aisle next to you and you're like, "Oh, hey, buddy, nice, okay."
So I have a similar story to that, but it's with a different sport. So I grew up here in Cleveland, grew up here in Ohio. I don't think hockey is as prominent here as it is in like a lot of areas. But I spent some time in Buffalo. I lived in Buffalo for a while, and Sabres hockey is huge there. So Buffalo is all about their hockey. They're all about their Buffalo Bills. They don't have baseball there really. They have minor league, but like the Sabres are big. And I don't know why, but I just assumed that hockey players were going to be built like football players. And when I learned that they're like twig men, I was shocked by that.
That's all pads.
they're like marathon runner size guys because they got it. And then I was, it was told to me, they're like, well, because they got to be fast in the ice. I'm like, well, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But like you see them on TV, they got all these giant pads on. They look real big. They're always checking each other. So you'd think that they would have like some size to them, but then when like, and they're also usually really young. So like when I would see these like little skinny 19-year-olds playing professional hockey, I'm like, who are these guys?
Are we talking like Tristan McKenzie skinny or like a little bit bigger than that?
Not quite like that, but like think of like Evan Mobley if he was a foot shorter. right?
Okay.
Like clearly an athlete, clearly, but just not, not an NFL linebacker. Like I don't know. Like I just expected them to all to be like NFL linebacker size, and they were not.
Yeah, they're shocking with that one. Even like the goalies, you look at the goalies, you're like, I thought you would be bigger too. No.
Yeah. Oh, they're all tall, scrawny dudes.
Yeah. I remember.
Yeah, that should have been what I did instead of wrestling and getting my ass kicked.
God, if you were the same, hold on. If you were the same height you are now when you wrestled, no wonder you got your ass kicked.
7th grade, I was like, I don't know, 5'9",
6'3"?
6 foot tall, and 135 pounds. I thought I was like, oh, I got this long arm length, right? It'll be great in wrestling, and it was like, nah, that was the
they'll never get these legs if I sprawl out.
Yeah. Then you found the 5'2" guy that weighed 133 and just built like a little
yeah, like Jose Ramirez, like a little tank.
And you're like, I got this. And then he grabs a hold of you once. You're like, I don't have this.
Did not have this. Did not have this. Only won one match all year. It was ugly.
I remember that when I wrestled, going up against a couple of Division I wrestlers. It was not fun. It was eye opening. Let's just put it that way. It's like, oh, I got this. Go out there, and I'm like, I do not have this.
By eye opening, you mean you staring at the ceiling a lot?
Or they're making you lick your own knee, basically.
Yeah. That was the one I got tech falled. So at least I didn't get pinned. I got tech falled though.
Oh,
yeah.
I got pinned all the time.
It was a 3-foot. Yeah, hey, in 7th grade I was. I'm not gonna lie.
Like a luchador?
Almost. I mean, I was so small. Like, hey, for me to make weight, I had to step on the scale with a sandwich just to make weight.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, I was one of those kids. And then I just turned into this.
Don't need a sandwich anymore, huh?
No, don't need the sandwich. I can actually I started taking off my clothes when I step on the scales now because I'm like, all right, that wallet weighs about 6 pounds. Let's get that out of the pocket. I don't need my doctor yelling at me about that. Here's another keys are about 16 pounds. Let's throw that out here. Hey, Brian, spring training's pretty much almost over, right?
Yeah.
We got a couple more games left. You are MLB Guards Cast. You are the Network 216 Guardians go-to guys. Nolan Jones. What the hell?
Well, are you saying what the hell as in you saw the news today, or as in you don't want him to be a part of the team?
All of the above.
Okay. So I think, for $2 million, it was whatever, right? Like picking up, giving him an arbitration, $2 million, like that's nothing. They have pissed away, as frugal as people call the Dolans, Antonetti and Chernoff, like they've tanked away $5-6 million here and there for guys that have played for 2 months for the team before. So $2 million was nothing.
Fair.
He did get optioned today. So he will not make the team on opening day. So they'll have to pay him $2 million to play in AAA, but like they were paying Miles Straw, I think $5 million to play in AAA, before they ended up moving him to Toronto. So it's, I had a lot of hope for Nolan Jones last season. He had that great season in Colorado, and Mike consistently brings up like, oh, well, it's Colorado, but his splits were actually better on the road.
Colorado.
Yeah, but he just had a great season, and it's just never materialized. And the thing is both Mike and I were very critical of the Guardians and their lack of doing anything for the outfield this offseason. But the way spring training has gone, there's no room for Nolan Jones. I would much rather see Chase DeLauder and George Valera and Angel Martinez and a bulked up Daniel Schneemann at this point, or a CJ Kafis. So be it. I mean, if he gets sent down to AAA, hopefully he can figure it out there. If he doesn't, then that's it for him.
All right, next question I got for you, and this is going to be a fun one for me. Should we put Chase Lauder in bubble wrap? That kid can't even get through 3 games without something coming up with him. Like, it's like, oh, I've had a hangnail. I got to sit out this game. Next thing you know, it's a pinky toe. Next thing you know, the back stab.
Yeah.
Next
Yeah,
thing
they
you know,
called it.
I slept wrong and pinched a nerve in my neck, which all of us have done. But it seems like every time you turn around with this kid, there is something wrong with him.
Yeah, and he sat for a couple of days earlier in spring training for lower body soreness. At 40 years old, I feel that. I played some pickleball today, and I'm feeling it this afternoon, and so I got some soreness. But I think they're just being overly cautious with him right now because, man, is he just hitting the cover off the ball. And if he can be in the lineup for 100 games or 100 plus games, I think he just drastically changes things for them. So, and that's the other part of it. And they've talked about that, like because of his health, because of those things that you had mentioned, they're going to schedule days off for him. But the thing is that, like, whereas compared to other rookies or other young players, it doesn't seem like he needs a rhythm. He doesn't need to play every single day. Seems like he can just get out of bed after taking a couple of days off to rest the hamstrings that are sore, and he's going to get 2 hits. I think he's going to be everything that we had been hoping for, as long as he can stay healthy. And there's another player that kind of in the same boat that I'm also excited to see, but it does sound like he's going to start on the IL because he's got an injury, is George Valera. Another guy that, if healthy, I think he's everything that we've been asking for the outfield. But part of that is, the other part of that is, that's why we were like, you need insurance here. You can't rely on those guys. Like, what if they're both injured? You're in big trouble. If they're both injured, you're in big trouble. So there is some risk there in terms of, like, hoping that these guys stay healthy. I think same thing with Valera. They're being overly cautious, and a little bit of a calf tightness is going to turn into a brief trip on the IL to start the season. But so be it. If he misses the last week of March and the first week of April, big deal. There's 162 games. It'll be all right if he can, again, play 100 plus, 120 plus games. I think the outfield looks drastically different.
For sure. And it seems like, from what I just heard this morning, they've got a tough stretch to start the year.
Yeah.
And, obviously some of these injuries. How do you, what kind of realistic expectations do you have for the year as you look in here? I mean, are you expecting another run into the playoffs? Are you hoping for a wild card? What are your expectations of this team?
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, Mike and I haven't really talked about it yet, but I have to expect that, like, when Mike and I are going to go through this, and there are so many pieces of last year's team that I expect to be better. So when you talk about that and you think about that out loud, where you're like, well, how can they not be better than last year then? If you're like, well, so the outfield should be a lot better. You don't have old man Carlos Santana taking up 400 at bats and not producing. Yeah. Tanner Bybee should be better after having a down year. You should see development out of, guys like Bo Naylor, and hopefully you see development out of, like, Brian Rocchio and, a Joey Cantillo to step up a little bit more, and a Slade Ciccone to continuing to build off. Like, there's all these guys that you expect they're going to continue to get better. So if the team was, a division winner last year and on a hell of a run at the end of the season, I say there's no reason that they shouldn't at least be a wild card. Now, there's other factors that, Detroit is clearly trying to make a run with Skubal, and because they're probably going to have to trade him after this year. So, like, Detroit's going to be better,
And they're probably not going to fall off like they did at the end of last year. But you never know what's going to happen with injuries and things like that. So maybe they don't win the division. Maybe Detroit's like really good and they win 102 games, and there's nothing you can do about that. But I think they'll be contenders. I think that there is. They will be interesting throughout the entire year. I think when it comes to August and September, I think there's going to be something to fight for. And I don't think that they're going to be a boring team, or, I don't think that in July in the All-Star break, we're talking about them being a losing team or anything like that. Now, you talked about the beginning stretch, right?
Yeah.
I think it's very feasible. They start off like 2-4. And I know it's going to happen. People are going to pay attention to them for the first week, just like last year. And then it trails off because, baseball's new and just got back, and they're going to write them off, and they're not going to pay attention. They'll pay attention for the home opener. But like, remember it, and maybe you guys don't remember, but they had the Padres last year for the very early part of the season, and they looked atrocious. Like sloppy defense. Even Jose was kicking the ball around. They got swept by the Padres. Gave up a ton of runs, didn't score much. And that was like the second series of the season. It doesn't say a lot at that point in the time. But like, when you're starting off with like Seattle and the Dodgers, well, both of those teams expect to be World Series contenders. So if all of it, if you end up 1-5 or 2-4 to start the season, that's not like starting 2-4 in the NFL. Like, we're talking about a week over what is a very long MLB season. So I do expect some early season struggles just because of the way the schedule is. I expect people to overreact to it. And then the Guardians will do Guardians things. And by the time August and September are rolling around, we'll be talking about how this team is trying to make a run for the playoffs.
All right. So we do know that they've been putting Stephen Kwan in center field during spring training. Does that mean that Angel Martinez is on the outside looking in at the center field spot?
So for the center field spot, maybe I'll be curious to see how they do like defensively. George Valera not making the team and being on the injured list does mix things up a little bit. It probably opens up a roster spot that I didn't think was available when the Guardians signed Rhys Hoskins for CJ Kayfus to basically take over in a corner outfield spot for Valera. Where I think Angel is going to be is he is going to be, I think, exclusively against left-handed hitting, because that was where he was best last year. And he's had a really, really strong spring. He has looked great this spring.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring up, because he's batting like 350 in the spring.
Yeah, and his OPS is like 1.2, like something ridiculous. He's going to make the team. I think he's going to be that right-handed hitter, even though he's a switch hitter. I think he's going to be that right-handed hitter that we all wanted the Guardians to get in free agency. I think Angel is going to take over that role. So he's going to have a place, and he does have the ability to play center field. So maybe it's Stephen Kwan's job, maybe on a more regular basis. But let's say they want to give Kwan a little bit of a break. Maybe against lefties, Kwan plays in left field and Angel's in center, because that's a little bit easier for him. And he's not running quite as much. Like, I could see a scenario like that where Kwan isn't always in center field, that they might move guys around a little bit here and there.
All right. And obviously, the whole Class A shit. Cade Smith is our closer going into this season, correct?
Yeah, Cade Smith's the closer. There was more injury news that Hunter Gaddis, he's fine, but Rosie did tell us, we had Rosie on about a week or so ago, and that's when Hunter Gaddis had news that he had some forearm soreness, And that's always scary when you hear forearm soreness because that could lead to, okay, well, that's possible Tommy John, but everything was fine. But Rosie did say that they're going to be really conservative with him, and he'll probably start the season on the IL, Hunter Gaddis. And it was just announced, Zach Meisel had that it is probably likely that Hunter Gaddis will start on the IL, but he had started doing bullpens already. So I don't expect that. I expect that by when the 10 days of the IL is up for him, he'll probably be right back in it. And what that means is that just gives, another guy like some of the guys that they brought in, like a Connor Brogdon, to an opportunity to make the team for a little while here. And but yeah, Cade Smith is the closer. How the rest of the bullpen shapes up, sometimes it's hit or miss. They did bring in Sean Armstrong. He's a veteran. He has experience a little bit with closing. So, is he the eighth inning guy? Does it end up being like an Eric Sabrowski in the eighth inning, or is it a rotation? Because remember, 2 years ago, it was Tim Herron, it was Cade Smith, it was Hunter Gaddis, it was Class A. Like those guys were really good. Herron had a little bit of a tough season last year. He wasn't quite as good, got sent down, but then made a comeback and was much better after his trip down to AAA. So how the rest of the bullpen shapes up, tough to say. Bullpens can be finicky. But yes, Cade Smith is the closer, and that was also an announcement today that Clase and Ortiz will not be paid by the Guardians. They're on leave from the MLB until their trial, but their salaries are off the books for the Guardians for this year, as opposed to last year where they did have to pay them.
So can we use that money, or do we still have to put it on like a retainer for them?
I don't think so. I mean, I think they can use that money. The thing is that like there's not really anybody available in free agency at this point that you would use that money on. I think they expected that they wouldn't have to pay Class A after the season anyway. Let's just throw out a hypothetical here. Let's say that they wanted to extend Stephen Kwan. Usually an extension, the same year of that extension is not a huge raise for the player. It's usually like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
So the $6 million that they're saving on Class A doesn't mean a lot really. And then the other aspect of this is that any player extension at this point, so next year there's a new collective bargaining agreement coming in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
We're expecting a lockout. We are there's going to be possibly a complete change to money allocation, to revenue sharing. There might be a salary cap. There might be a salary floor. And then after 27 is when the new ownership is supposed to take over. So any contract extension is going to be thought of more so for the new owner and with a new collective bargaining agreement in mind, which is why, and I know people aren't going to want to hear this, I don't see a Stephen Kwan extension for this offseason because there's too much uncertainty there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I'm an agent, and again, I know people aren't going to want to hear this. If I'm an agent, it would seem that after a new collective bargaining agreement is agreed to, there's going to be more earning potential for a player after that, right?
Yeah.
And that'll be next offseason. So why sign an extension now if my client has an opportunity to make more money with the same team even? It could be with the Guardians. But if my client has an opportunity to make more money later, because MLB has a system where there's 6 years of control for a player. It's 3 years of what's called pre-arbitration. So that's the minimum, which is, I think, about $850,000 a year. And then you have 3 years of what's called arbitration, where based on performance, you get a salary, and there's like a negotiation of of that salary. The first year is like usually a minimal raise. Like you'll get like 2 million, 6 million, and like 9 million. Like, that's kind of how it, like ballpark roughly it goes. So Stephen Kwan this year is in his 5th year of control.
Mm-hmm.
So that system could change under the new collective bargaining agreement. So like, let's just say that like there might be that could go away. Like, what if that goes away? Like, there's so many variables there when it comes to the new collective bargaining agreement that it's tough to know what an agent is going to want. Like, is an agent going to want that guarantee of like, okay, I know my client's going to make 50 million over the next 4 years, or do you hold off and say, let's see what this new collective bargaining agreement gets. Let's see what revenue share is like. Let's see what the new rules are. And I think you're going to make more money over your career if we wait.
Interesting. So you mentioned the new ownership. So is there an incentive for the Dolans to minimize the payroll as they walk out?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't know like how that works in terms of value. Like that's a really tough to say. You could argue based on the bottoming out of the roster. Timeout. What? Timeout.
Isn't the new ownership already here though?
They're minority owners. They don't own majority stake.
But they will become the majority stake though when the Dolans step away. So
after 2027.
Yeah. So when that happens, though, they're already here. So wouldn't they have a say in how the payroll goes until they take over?
They could. I mean, so Jose Ramirez signed an extension, right?
Yes.
And given his extension will go into the new ownership's, timeline, they were part of that negotiation. That would be the same for Stephen Kwan. Like, they'll be a part of that negotiation if that negotiation happens, because that extension is essentially going to be on their books, not on the Dolan's books. That's why I was talking about, like, because for this year, if Stephen Kwan signs an extension, he probably is going to make the same amount of money this year, maybe a slight bump in salary for this year. But they just saved $6 million on Class A. That's negligible.
Jones.
Right. I mean, it's $1 million or $2 million here. Like that's in the grand scheme of things is nothing. But to Brian's point, the salary is like 20 million less this year than last year. So that does bring up like, well, did they purposely lower the payroll to make the franchise more valuable or whatever? Like that's really hard to say. I don't know. Or is it just the way things worked out and they really believe in George Valera and Chase DeLauder and Angel Martinez, and all of these guys are making minimum? Maybe.
Oh yeah. No, I think you guys had the interviews with Rosie a couple times, and I mean he kept talking about what was it, 2022. He kept referring to the last. It could have been 2021. I can't remember the exact year, but like when all the young guys came up and everybody was screaming the same thing, like we didn't sign anybody.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, they had all this faith in all these young players that we didn't know about, and all of a sudden, they had a great run.
Yeah, that was Kwan's rookie year.
Yes.
Oscar Gonzalez was a part of that. Now, Oscar Gonzalez flamed out, but that year he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But yes, similar thing. Similar thing, but I mean, when he talked about that, I did push back a little bit. I'm like, I said, I hear you. I understand what you're saying that they want to do, but they don't have the track record of doing it. Like, now, granted, John Kenzie Noel was not the prospect that Chase DeLauder is.
some of these guys aren't the same caliber of prospects, but I have long been a critic of their hitting development system. Is that finally changing? Hopefully. Is Travis Bazzana going to be, a Jason Kipnis caliber type of player for us for a really long time? Hopefully. But like, there is genuinely criticism that should be given that their hitting is nowhere near what they do in developing for pitching. And so if you can't develop hitting, then you should look for it elsewhere. You should be grabbing Dodgers prospects or trading for Dodgers prospects or whatever, because they'll spend all the money and their prospects are never going to see the light of day. So then go get that kid in AAA and bring him here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, before we give you a breather, because I feel like we've had you just peppering you with questions here.
Well, I'm low, so I gotta get a refill.
Yeah, go get your refill.
But go ahead. Say what you want to say.
One more question before you hop off or take your break.
He's taking a break. He's staying on because I still got some questions.
Oh, jeez.
I thought we were going to talk Browns too. I got some Browns hot takes.
Browns. So we're talking baseball's going to be done. So ask your question.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. The Cleveland Browns, Bryan Shaw. How do you feel?
Oh, okay. We're going there. All right.
He needs another beer for this and about 6 more shots, dude.
Hang on. Yeah. Well, let's save that for the next crack open. Jared, do you have another Guardians question, or Brian, do you have another Guardians question? And then we'll move on to the Browns next.
The only Guardians question that I got for you is, obviously this pitching staff has been the heart and soul for this team for probably, God, it feels like 20 years. But I want to ask, besides the big names here, what name are you looking at right now to make a jump this year, whether it be on the starting or relief pitching? I know we got Slade Ciccone, who came up and showed up for us last year. We got some new guys in the bullpen. Who's the one guy that you got your eye on this year to make a jump for the Cleveland Guardians?
So I like Parker Messick a lot. He made his debut last year. He's a starter. I don't know if he'll make the opening day roster because they have other starters, and they were talking about like, okay, well, we gotta limit his innings and all that nonsense that I can't stand that kind of stuff. But I think Parker Messick is going to be the real deal. Also, it has been announced he's going to make the team. Rosie told us that Peyton Paulette that he's could be the real deal. He's a guy that we picked up in what's called the Rule 5 draft. So Rule 5, for those that don't know, is a way to kind of poach prospects from other teams if they don't get added to their 40-man roster. So it's kind of like a competitive balance thing. So I was just talking about like the Dodgers, like if the Dodgers keep signing free agents and they're paying all these guys like tons of money, you only have 40 roster spots. So if you have good prospects and you don't add them to the 40-man roster over a certain amount of time, the Rule 5 draft is an opportunity for a different team, to basically steal that player from you. Think about it as like an expansion draft. Like you remember like the NFL expansion drafts where like players had to be like protected and the new teams were able to kind of like steal players from teams. That's kind of what like the Rule 5 draft is. And we got him, and Rosie says he's the real deal. And it sounds like he's going to make the team. Otherwise, we have to give him back. If he doesn't make the team, we have to give him back to who we took him from. And I'm wondering if he's going to be one of those guys, kind of like when Cade Smith made his debut. When Cade Smith made his debut, it was kind of a surprise, and then he just like shocked the world with how good he was. That is a big expectation to put on a guy, but I think he's one of those players, Paulette, that by mid-season people are going to be like, oh wow, where'd this guy come from? How do we get this guy? Like he's like a mainstay in the bullpen, and now all of a sudden, people are going to be talking about him. I think he could be one of those guys.
Is he the one that kind of throws like Chad Bradford from the Oakland A's?
The sidearm,
Weird, yeah.
I don't think that's him. There was a Guardians prospect that was in spring training that changed his mechanics. Like I forget the guy's name. There was a guy that could do different pitch. Like he could do submarine, he could sidearm, he could throw over the top. Like he could do it all. And like that kid went viral. I think that one's still really young and not quite major league ready, but that one, that's something that's really cool. Like if you can change your mechanics and you're changing eye level and things like that, like you're really throwing guys off. And let's not forget, did you guys watch the World Baseball Classic at all?
Sure, a little bit.
Tugboat Williamson made a name for himself. He's a single A prospect with the Guardians in the World Baseball Classic against Team USA. I think he struck out Bryce Harper, and he had Aaron Judge grounding out, and he pitched 2 innings. Like, remember the name Tugboat?
Oh, trust me, I know of Tugboat. Tugboat's been on my radar for about 2 years. As soon as I heard that kid's name, I'm like, that's going to be my new favorite pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's just say he doesn't end up making it to the MLB for whatever reason. Talk about an amazing experience to be in the World Baseball Classic and to get the guys like that out for your team. You'll be able to tell the kids like, oh, I struck out Bryce Harper. I got Aaron Judge to ground out into a double play or whatever it was, or just to ground out in general. Like, I mean, those guys are making 50, 60 million a year, and you're a single A guy right now. Like, just
30K.
awesome story.
Next thing you know, he'll be coaching the Bad News Bears. Get some whiskey with his beer. And don't worry, it's not alcoholic beer. But yeah. No, Shaw, go get another beer. We'll get you.
All right.
We'll get you back in here. Go get another beer, buddy. All right. God, I love Bryan.
He knows everything. Anybody that's listening in right now, if you have any baseball questions, Guardians questions, especially, him and Mike are the man. I go to them for all my questions, and they usually, when I'm being too fanny, they're like, "Hey, calm down. Like, just calm down, dude. You're being a fan right now."
Yeah, go. It's at MLB Guardscast. Go check them out. They're here on the network. They do a show probably once every couple weeks during the season. They've had Rosie on the past couple weeks. They do a spring training one with Rosie, and then they had an interview with Rosie towards the beginning of the winter meetings and stuff like that. But now that the season's ramping up, we got to promote the hell out of them because they definitely know their stuff. They love talking baseball. They're great guys. Hopefully, I get to see this beautiful face in the camera April 23rd at a certain live draft party in Parma Heights, somebody's neck of the woods, while we're drinking and hooping it up for the first pick for when the Browns trade number 6 for like number 22 and all that stuff. But he is back with a beer. Let's bring him back in. Is it cracked and ready to go?
It's cracked and ready to go. So I had a goggle fogger earlier. I have this one. So it's Market Garden Hometown. So I'm a craft beer guy. I do enjoy my breweries and my craft beers, but I have appreciated that all the breweries now are doing like their own like Miller Lite, Bud Light equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this is. This is Market Garden's like, little light lager, light pilsner, easy drinking, 4.5%. The midsummer 80 degrees after you just cut your grass. I need something to admire my grass with. Like that's what this is. And it's actually really good. It's got a lot of good flavor to it. So shout out to Market Garden for this one.
There you go. See?
Love it. Maybe they'll be a sponsor for the Network 216 someday. I did send them an email.
My God. Between that and dude wipes, we gotta get dude wipes too.
Oh
dude,
no, no, no.
Then we'll see Fatty just falling off of a boat, and we'll be like, "Oh, it was an accident."
I have. We can get into that. I don't know. I have any dude wipe sponsorship because of the Browns makes me cringe.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
The whole I hate the brown helmet. I hate the all brown uniform. I hate the dude wipe sponsorship. I hate it all.
Brown?
I hate it.
You
You
don't
can
like
clean it up with the dude wipes, especially when they get the new stadium. They might change the colors.
It like I don't know if it's on purpose or if it's just complete lack of awareness. But you cannot have an all brown uniform and a brown helmet and be sponsored by an ass wipe company and think that like this is smart. Like, yeah, this is what we want to do.
Oh my God. Well, hey, how about trying to trade away, 5 years of picks? That's a great idea for them. Good segue for Fatty.
Well, I immediately thought of it. I was like, well, that's got to be for Arch Manning, right?
No, you know what this is? No, it's not even for Arch Manning. You know what this is? This is for everybody that said Deshaun Watson trade was the most horrible trade in the world. That they're hoping that somebody
will do something dumber.
Is going to do 5 first-round picks for somebody.
Maybe.
That's what they're going to like. We don't want this anymore. We don't want this stink on us. Here, let's see if we can trade away 5 first-round picks. That's exactly what they were thinking.
Maybe. That could be. That could be. So I want to preface all the things I'm going to say with I used to be a Brown season ticket holder. I have my little Nick Chubb commemorative ticket. I want to show you, this is also part of the reason why I'm in my basement today is because this is the backdrop for my TV.
Oh, that's awesome.
I built a dog pound fence. Like this is old school. Let's see. I hope you can see this. So this is old. This is from like when I was a kid.
Yep.
But that's Kellen Winslow Jr. Joe Thomas is on here. There's Joe Thomas. Like this is all like early 2000s like signatures from going to training camp. Joe Juravicius. Just some, I was the biggest Browns fans that there was. And
How you feeling now?
I'm just over it, man. I'm just over it.
Oh, no,
So I'll say this.
Almost back for you. Because it's there's a list for everybody.
Yeah. The Deshaun trade was part of it. That was a big part of it. I didn't like it. I didn't like all those picks. And then when he was terrible and got injured, and then the future was ruined because of that, it was like, you know what? I have reverted to now I'm a fair weather fan. And I don't feel bad about that. And I'm going to openly admit that. Because in my 20s, in my early 30s, going through 0-16 and 1-31, when they were bad, then at least there was a vision. There was like, okay, let's bottom out. We're going to get all these picks and we're going to build something. And it feels like after all of that and where we are right now, all of that was for nothing. They didn't get much out of any of that. And now we're back to where we were with like Rob Chudzinski and just these coaches that aren't like, they're not the future. Like you got to coach because nobody else wanted to be a coach for you. So, and also I'm going to say this too. Oh, we just lost Fatty. I'm going to say this too. I feel personally that I don't feel like the Browns respect their fans. So I'm not going to give the respect to the Browns until that is returned. I think their motivations right now is let's be good when the new stadium is built. Let's be good by that time. So if that's the case, why I'm not going to devote my time, I'm not going to devote my money into a product that I know is going to be mediocre or crappy. Like I'll watch all the games, but if by the third quarter they're getting their asses whooped, well, you know what? I'll listen to the rest of the game while I'm cutting my grass.
That's the way everybody else is. And seriously, it feels like for the Browns, for at least the past that handful of years, you have hope for like the first 5 games, and after the first 5 games are over with, it's like, eh.
I mean, I was like, when they were trading for guys like Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham, like I was all on board. Like it was like so much excitement, and like they were pushing for the playoffs, and yeah, maybe the Freddie Kitchens year, like they disappointed, and but like I don't know, I just don't see. They're stuck in a rut right now, and I just don't have the energy anymore to blindly follow what's going to be probably a 4, 5, maybe 6 win team, and then they're going to fire Todd Monken in 2 years. Like what should I be emotionally invested in? I'm at the point in my life where if you say, well, you know what, when they're good in 2028, you didn't support them in 2026, so you can't be a fan. You know what? Kiss my ass. I don't care. There was an aspect of that where I could understand, like when I was in my 20s and like I was younger, I was like, you know what? Like I'm just gonna support them, die hard through and through, no matter what, and it's gonna feel so much better when they're good. And I believed that. I just don't believe that anymore because I don't think the ownership cares. And I think that like when the ownership is going on Twitter and disrespecting fans because they sell their tickets to Packers fans and they're mocking them and saying like, oh, we know who the true fans are and stuff like that. Like you've done nothing to earn our respect, our trust. You've done nothing to earn the loyalty that this city gives you. You've done nothing to reward us. So don't get snarky with the fan base when we do something that's for us.
Oh, and especially after you give us a shit team on the field.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Hey, I'm sorry, December's cold enough as it is. Do I really want to go and watch us get our ass kicked by the Green Bay Pack? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think they justify in their head. Like, if you give us a winning product, just like the Guardians have, just like the Cavs had, people will show up.
Sure. So, yeah, and that's what I mean. And like, so that's why I preface all that. Like I'm not a hater just to be a hater right now. It's just that I think I've just gotten to the point where I've seen this song and dance before. I watched like the Mike Pettin years and the Rob Chudzinski years, and the Romeo Cornell years. Like there was that one good season with Derek Anderson, and that was so much fun. And more recently, there was that one really good season, like second half of the season with Joe Flacco, and that was a blast. And I was all over that. And I still go to a game a year. My one buddy that still has season tickets, he takes me to a game or two a year. I was at the Browns Steelers game, the big snow game 2 years ago with Jameis. That was some of the most fun that I've had at a Browns game in a really, really long time. And I'm going to remember that for forever. But that has little to do with the Browns as a whole. Like that was just kind of like a shot in the dark like event because of the snow, because it was a night game on national TV, and Jameis was just balling out, and then he had all those like post-game quotes. Like, that was one of those things where it was just all vibes. But like that is like that's a blip on the whole mess that is the rest of the team.
Well, if they solve the problem at quarterback, are you going to change your mind?
Well, yeah, probably. I mean, but that's the thing is that, yes, like eventually, like I'll come back around. But my point is that like right now, I'm not going to give my 100% into the team, like, because they haven't earned that. Like now you got to earn it. I used to give my undying loyalty to them. I used to be diehard and just believe everything. But now it's like, show me. And so if next year, the picks fall into place and they get that next franchise QB, then yeah, like that's going to be wonderful. But we were just there like 8 years ago or whenever it was, like with the first pick with Baker and like we thought we were building to something, and then they just pissed it all away. And so it's like, well, why? Like I said, I've seen this song and dance before. Like I've been there and done that. So now it's like okay, call me when you're good. Call me when you get a QB. Call me when you're not pissing off your best players and they ask for trades. Call me when you're not sending away Nick Chubb and when you've got a wide receiver that isn't a diva and drops all these passes and is absolutely terrible. Like that's the thing is like, I'm tired of hearing from my old season ticket rep asking me to come to the stadium to get a tour. Like, I don't want to hear from you right now. Like,
really? I cut my tickets off. They never called me back.
That's the thing. So when I did give up my tickets, that was before Watson's first season with us, and they were kind of snarky about it. They're like, well, if you give them up, you'll never get them again. You'll never be able to get season tickets again. Well, guess what? Now you're calling me because they're terrible and you want me to buy season tickets because that long wait list that you had that you said was thousands of people deep is no longer there.
I love it.
So, yes, maybe that will be true because I probably wouldn't even consider buying season tickets until they're good again. And like I said, I'll admit, I'm going to be a fair weather fan. And by the time that the new stadium comes around, I probably won't even be able to afford season tickets. And a lot of people will be in that boat.
None of us will.
And so maybe that'll be true. I'll never be able to get season tickets again. So be it. If they're bad, I'll buy a ticket in early December for $20 and I'll go see a crappy football team.
Hey, nosebleed tickets, $10. You can find them on StubHub or people are selling them. They might even be giving them away at some point in time.
I mean, to that point, the very last game that I had season tickets for, it was a Browns-Bengals game. I offered them for free to my Bengals fan friend. I said, hey, Bengals Browns in Cleveland. He lives in Cleveland. I said, you can have these tickets for free. He didn't want them because Joe Burrow wasn't playing. I couldn't give away tickets.
Oh, geez.
Because parking was too much. That was the thing. Well, it's a whole day and I got to pay for parking. Like, I couldn't give away tickets, and that's when I was like, "Okay, I'm over this. This is done."
All right, so I do have to ask: are we going to see your beautiful face on April 21st at the Network 216 live draft party at Flyers Bar and Grill?
Yeah, I think so. I actually, so I hung out with a couple of buddies for March Madness on Thursday, and I told them about this, and I said, "Hey, instead of one of us hosting the draft, Like let's go do this. And I'll make a little cameo on the draft. And if they don't draft a left tackle or a wide receiver, I'll come on and I'll say, you know what, this was stupid and I hate it, and I'll talk about that. But or you know what, I'll just, if you guys want, I'll just give my snarky ass opinion about the Browns no matter what. No matter what they do. I'll be like, you know what, they're going to screw this up. They picked the wrong wide receiver. They picked the wrong left tackle, just like they did with Jedrick Wills. Again, I've seen this song and dance before. Show me you made the right pick. Even if they picked who could be the top quarterback, I'm not getting on board until I see it. Like, I got to see it at this point.
I saw some evidence that the Jedrick Wills pick was highly influenced by Bill Callahan, by the way, who's now in Atlanta with Fatty's boy, Kevin Stefanski. Now
is Jedrick? He's out of the league, right? He hasn't been picked up yet, has he?
He signed with Chicago. He's back with Chicago Bears.
Oh, so he did sign a contract.
Yeah.
Because he was out. He was a free agent all of last year to rehab. I hadn't seen that he had actually signed with anybody.
He signed this year with the Chicago Bears.
Okay,
might be the starting left tackle for the Chicago Bears. We'll see.
Well, I mean,
not by
choice.
We
play the Chicago Bears?
I don't think so.
God, I hope so, because Myles Garrett would just run that kid over.
Well, you know, Jedrick Wills would not play that game, just like he made a business decision his last year, and he was like, those first 4 games, I'm not playing. I'm still injured, actually.
Like Jason Water, I got back spasms.
He's like, Max Crosby? No, I'm still in pretty big pain. I don't think I can suit up, coach. Sorry.
So I'm curious. So I'm on my phone purposely tonight because I wanted to have like the cool backgrounds of stuff. And on mobile for this, like they're really small. So I'm curious. You guys can see them. I can't. What are the comments saying? What are like? Am I getting roasted here for my Browns takes, or are people agreeing with me?
So Justin's in here. He doesn't like the owners to begin with. He wants them to sell the team. So you got Justin selling the team, and then you know something. What time is it?
Almost 10 o'clock. Yeah.
10 o'clock. All right, I can say this. The last one he sent where the Browns are like a girl that let you put it in the back door once and then teases you with possibilities of repeat, but you have to buy her a $50,000 purse. So this is kind of the comments we get. So you're not getting roasted. I think everybody, honestly, Brian, I think everybody feels the same way you do. You know, all the fans have put in the time, the effort. We watched Baker Mayfield take this team to the playoffs, and then they go off Baker and go after Deshaun, and then it's a shit show after that, and it's just been a shit show ever since then. And it's like, what are we doing here? Like, it's like we're a duck trying to swim in water, but we can't tread water right now. We're just sitting on the bank, just having our feet into the water.
It's hard to gauge. It's hard to gauge because I feel like the Browns have a lot of like influencers, and they also have a lot of media influence in town to where like, you know, like they get, think about like local radio. Like this is also like, this kind of goes to why Mike and I do the podcast that we do, because on local radio, you can barely hear about the Guardians. I mean, the Cavs are about to start the playoffs. Do you hear about the Cavs at all? No, it's constant Browns draft coverage.
You need to talk to your best friend about that.
Talk to my friend?
Your best friend about that.
Who are you talking about? Kenny Carmen?
He is tall. He is thick. Just be like, hey, why do we got to talk about Brown? But see, the bad thing is that that's the Brown. The Browns run the city when it comes to sports.
They do.
Boys, sex sells. Okay, I did a TikTok for I did a daily TikTok for almost a year. Every time I did a Cavs or an Indians video, maybe 500 views at the most. Every time I did a Browns video, 1,000 or more views every single time.
And I'm sure that's true for the radio guys. Like I'm sure they're playing for their audience, and that's why it's constant Browns coverage. But the reason I bring that up is like is when you say Jared, you said like you think a lot of people feel the way I do. When you look at social media, when you look at like the broadcasting and you hear from people and stuff, it's almost it's very propaganda. Like you're almost made to feel like, well, that's not true. Everybody, like, if you're not this loyalist, if you're not this, if you're not on the bandwagon, then you know, like, well, then you can't be a fan later. If you're not a fan now, you can't be a fan later.
Well, it's also with the Shador Bros and Baker Bros. And
Oh man!
But you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Like if you say something bad about a quarterback that you think is not going to be good, but everybody else loves, like somebody over there in my top left. I don't know if they're your top left. Wrist up over there.
Oh, he's a Shador guy.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that I don't like Shador. I hope we find a quarterback. God, I hope
Sure.
we do. But the thing is don't bash me for the guy that starts 7 games, magically ends up in the freaking Pro Bowl for some odd reason. What a joke that is. And they're bashing me like, well, you're racist. How the hell am I racist? Because I'm saying Shador Sanders is not.
See,
it's like,
yeah, that's garbage. But so let's talk about Shador. I don't. So he.
See,
it's his dad didn't do him any favors.
Mm-hmm.
Him being this big personality didn't do him any favors. If you didn't have all that, then I don't think that there would be people that were like as much of like, okay, I'm against him. But here's the other part. He wasn't very good. And I'm not saying that I'm not willing to let him develop and potentially become good. That'd be great. But remember what I've said now like 3 times. I got to see it. You're not getting my blind loyalty anymore. There was a couple of really amazing throws out of him this last season, but he was also like, if you look at some of the advanced statistics, he was like 40th in the league of QBs. So like, you can argue, okay, well, the offensive line was garbage. You don't have any wide receivers. I'll hear all that. But also, I don't have to anoint the guy this savior of the franchise either, which is what Jared's talking about, of like these Shador like zealots.
Brian Philos.
There's an in between there where you can say, hey, he has some potential. I hope we can develop him. But here's the other thing. So this is similar to, let's compare this to the Guardians, right? Where earlier I'd said the Guardians deserve criticism because they don't develop hitting. They're bad at developing hitting. When was the last time the Browns actually developed a QB? We're talking like not even Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was the first overall pick. You can't even say like, oh, we developed him. Like let's talk like developed a guy and made him better over time. Like when was the last time that happened?
Brian side.
I mean, you can't say that about a quarterback. That's for sure. I'm going through the Rolodex here in my head. I mean, and I would like to claim Brian Hoyer, but definitely not.
Oh, actually, it's funny. I thought of Brian Hoyer too, and I was like, you know what? Like, but Brian Hoyer was what, 12 years ago?
Hey, and also with Brian Hoyer got screwed because he had to look over his shoulder every 2 seconds.
Well, yeah, you had Ray Farmer texting down to the sideline saying, put Johnny in, and I was.
But see, the other thing is like, what you were saying, I've seen other quarterbacks make those. I've watched Johnny Manziel make those throws. I've watched Cody Baby Carrots Kessler make those throws.
So that's the other thing is I think Browns fans have become so blinded by garbage quarterback play.
That's true.
That when Shador had made what is like probably by normal circles considered an average throw or a throw you should make, they're like, oh my God, he's gonna win the Super Bowl next year. It was so good. Let's see the highlight reel over and over again, because you're so blinded by the garbage that we have had to watch for years and years and years with like guys like DTR and the crap that Deshaun Watson has put out there and Kenny Pickett and I don't know, whoever else. That you've become like you've had to watch garbage for so long that mediocre looks fantastic.
Sam Darnold might be considered mediocre.
But Sam Darnold was in the Super Bowl, right? Like
after some time of development. I mean, the people in New York used to say he was seeing ghosts.
But
or are you talking about Danny Dimes?
The Jets.
Oh, the Jets. That's right. The Jets. Well, but all right. So, but he's another one. So yeah, like the NFL is kind of going through a weird thing right now, where it's like all these guys that were considered busts at one point now all of a sudden are having these resurgences. But that's another aspect. Like, would you, a lot of people have talked about going to get. I'm blanking on his name. What's his face in San Francisco? That was with the Patriots.
Mac Jones.
Yeah, Mac Jones. And I was one of those guys. Like he seems kind of like that next candidate to be that Sam Darnold type, that to kind of like make that resurgence. But do you trust the Browns to be the ones to do it? I don't.
No, not a chance. Kyle Shanahan is a magician that makes people look good all the time. And then all of a sudden he sends that off back to New England or wherever, and it looks like dog shit again. Like Kyle Shanahan is just leagues above everybody else, and I don't think it matters. Like every wide receiver that they trade away, what happens? They go bye-bye. Like they don't nobody talks about them anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like same thing with the quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo, very handsome man, would love to have him on the podcast for his looks. But what did he do outside of San Francisco? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And you're right. And Jimmy G was a guy when we were searching for QBs, I think before Baker, I was like, oh, go get Jimmy G. Like, go get him. And maybe even after Baker, too, when they decided to move on from him, I was like, you know what? Go get Jimmy G.
Yeah.
And everybody. And the thing is, though, Shanahan's doing what Belichick did. I mean, think about Matt Castle. Castle going to, Seattle. Us getting their Pro Bowl linebacker on our team. Decides he doesn't want to play, goes back to New England. Guess what? He's a Pro Bowler again.
Yep.
Just shit like that. I just don't think that the Browns right now, until things are settled with a different culture in the locker room, I don't think that they're there. And I don't think they're going to be able to develop anybody. Yes, Myles Garrett and people will come in because Myles Garrett's here and all this other, but we don't have anything else.
And this is why I'm saying, like, at this point, you got to prove it to me. You got to show it to me. I'll obviously pay attention to the draft. I'll be at Flyers. I'll give my opinion. I know what their needs are. Like, I'm still following the team. It's just I'm just not this blind loyalist. I'm not buying hoodies. I'm not buying Browns gear. I'm not buying new hats. But like I said, like the first, like I wouldn't mind a trade down. I know, Jared, you made that joke, but if they're building a team for the future for 29 or whenever the stadium opens, you got to accumulate picks and you got to get more guys. Like I actually really liked last year's trade down. I thought it made a lot of sense and they did really well with it. So I wouldn't mind something like that again, but then you have to have an equal draft. Like if you trade down, you still better get a really good left tackle or a wide receiver. And in the second round, a wide receiver or a left, or, like you better get these guys that are going to be staples of your team. But as I've mentioned before, is that like, okay, Mason Graham, like solid player, but it's going to take a couple of years before he's really good. And I'm at the point where it's like, all right, call me when he's really good. Like I don't care if I'm called a fair weather fan at this point. If I'll be all aboard the Browns train in 2028, 2029 if they all of a sudden get really, really good, and it'll be fun. And if people want to say, well, but you weren't on board, you were on the podcast and you said, I don't care about 2026, that they're going to suck. You know what? I didn't waste my time. Big deal. I don't care. Hurt my feelings. Make fun of me. I'm 40 now. I got gray hair. I got gray in the beard. Like,
me too.
I don't think anybody cares about that as much. Like, there's some people on Twitter that just have these loud ass opinions, and it blows my mind. But like F them, like F them picks, F those people. Like, don't worry about them. Like they're lunatics.
I mean, I hang out with my friends. We watch the games on Sundays. Like, we sit in the garage and watch the game, and eat some hot dogs and stuff. And more recently, it's okay. It's halftime. They're down 21. All right. You want another beer? Nah, I'm gonna head in. Okay. Like that's what it's like. And the thing is like, I've got pictures of empty stadiums. Like, I'm in the stands and there's nobody else there. Like, I guess to Jared's point, you're right. I'm not the only one. Like, I've got pictures to prove it.
I thought you were going to say you had pictures of Jimmy Haslam or something. I was like,
oh no,
now we're talking.
No, but I was talking about like coaching and stuff, and I know some people that like are like tertiary involved with the team and stuff, and like they don't believe in Todd Monken. Like, those people. I'm not saying the Browns don't. I don't know if the Browns believe in Todd Monken, but the sentiment that I got was the Todd Monken hire is like a stopgap hire,
placeholder.
Yeah,
I gotcha.
What the fuck did we do it? Oh my god, this kills me with this team. Yeah, at that point,
you don't know that.
So, but the thing is, so like that's part of it. Like I was a Stefanski critic. Like, I couldn't. I made a montage. I have the montages of like, got to be better, got to coach better. Gotta, like, we gotta coach. I have montages that I made of all that, or like, what was the other stupid thing that he said constantly?
Gotta go reveal the film.
No, that was Hugh. I mean, I'm blanking on it right now. I've had a couple weekends.
I gotta go watch the tape.
But regardless, so I was a Stefanski critic. However, when I was like, hey, they should get rid of Stefanski because he's not making the offense better. He's supposed to be this offensive guru, and the team's not improving, and the offense sucks, and that's on him. Oh, that was it. It's on me. It's on me. It was always on him. It was always on Stefanski. It's on me. Got to coach better. It's on me. Oh, and it was frustrating. Everything was always frustrating with Stefanski. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
He'll do better in Atlanta, don't worry.
Yeah.
Patty's
sure.
certain of it.
But
I truly do believe
you can be a critic of Stefanski and say he probably wasn't and be over his coaching and say he wasn't, but then also want better than Todd Monken. Like, there were all these great coaches that I thought that were available that like the Browns should have gone after, and they didn't even talk to any of them. How about LaFleur? How about so we interviewed Shieldhouse, but we didn't interview the Rams offensive coordinator. Like, we're interviewing like these kids, and then McDermott got fired. You didn't bring him in. You didn't talk to him. Like, there was potential to get like a home run coaching hire to make you respectable, and your choice was Todd Monken.
I agree with you there. The thing that gives me pause though is who was the last home run hire that the Browns had at head coach,
Q.
and how the fuck did
That was
that
a
work
home
out?
run hire. Are
Well,
you
at the
kidding
time, it
me?
was considered. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it was absolutely a home run
Yes.
hire.
It was considered a home run hire. Like
They
that's why I knew. That's why I knew that's where you were going with that. Like I knew. The Hugh Jackson hire was considered a home run, but he didn't make up these things about like he was told to tank, and the team was a mess.
That man was like he has been born a liar. Like that man,
Sure.
he lied and then got caught about a lie and then added another lie on top of it. Like,
Hey, watching Hard Knocks was enough for me.
oh,
Hugh,
God.
but Hugh wasn't, other than what, like interim Raiders coach. Did he have head coaching experience prior to that? I don't think so. I think it was just interim Raiders coach.
This is also the guy that wanted to trade for AJ McCarron.
Yeah. Well, all right. So, but sure. But my point is like, I would have given all the money to Harbaugh. I would have given him.
Same here.
I would have told him, you get a restaurant in the new park that we're building. You own it. It'll be the John Harbaugh restaurant. And like, I would have done. It's not like the Haslams aren't about doing shady, illegal things. So skirt around the pay rules of paying John Harbaugh and give him stock in the team or whatever. Or like I said, a restaurant, or give him a parking lot and let them get profits off of some of the parking that they're going to make money on. You should have done whatever you could to get John Harbaugh.
The Harbaugh lot. I love it. I wish they would have.
But no, we got Tom Monken.
I'm just saying that we've been excited about quarterbacks. We've been excited about coaches.
Sure.
And sometimes that goes okay, and sometimes that goes.
And you're right. And the same goes for we can take with baseball, right? Like it's the same thing. Like, okay, well, we want them to go out and get free agents, but they spend money and then that guy flames out, and you would have been better off going with your prospect. And just because you spend money in baseball doesn't mean really anything all the time. And the same is true with your example here. That you could have gotten the home run head coach, and it might have been bad. But I'm Todd Monken.
I do have to ask. Hold on, Schwartz or Monken?
So if those are the two choices, I go Schwartz because I want to see, because he has the respect of his team. So here was the thing. This was the hilarious thing about this whole great call out, by the way, because this reminds me. You interviewed all of these like younger coaches and offensive-minded coaches because you wanted to keep Jim Schwartz, and you lost out on some of them because they didn't want to be saddled with Jim Schwartz. But then,
allegedly,
because you don't hire Jim Schwartz, you lose him anyway. So you lost out on the coaches that you initially wanted, and you lost Jim Schwartz. So it was a double whammy. And you know who you end up with? You end up with Tom Monken.
Gotta love this.
Well, that being said,
this has got to be one of the best Lake Effect lounges ever.
I agree.
Should we have more beer?
Yeah, if I can get another beer, Jesus, I got like a 6-pack behind the curtain here.
I gotta go too. So you're gonna be talking by yourself now. I'm out too.
Oh, I can talk. I can filibuster. No,
all right, I'm out.
Hang on, I gotta go to the garage. Oh, hang on, I got one more cool thing to show you.
Yeah, show us.
To show you how much of a Browns fan I was.
Okay, here we go. Okay, we are getting the what do they used to call it? MTV Cribs.
Oh yeah,
Cribs.
Look what I got.
View of Bryan Shaw's house. Oh, Wow. Ooh. Oh, is that from the night?
It's not
When they
from the
unlocked-
night. It was they
Oh.
they did them later.
Okay.
But I have a I almost I I have a freaking Cleveland
pretty
Browns
cool.
Bud Light fridge.
That's pretty cool.
To tell you how much of a Browns fan like I was and like am, like I said, I'm just over it. Actually, I have some other cool things here to show you. Oh, well, there's that.
That's
It's like one of those that's one of those
Is that from,
banners.
like
And
97?
I think it's from 2001.
Okay.
Check this out.
Ooh. Oh, when the draft was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Get your hands on that. You're just
So-
scouring eBay?
That all the signage from the draft ended up at Habitat for Humanity,
Okay.
and they were selling them there. And my buddy told me like, "Hey, all this is like here," and yeah, I picked that up, and so it's chilling in my garage.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Your man cave is a lot cooler than mine. What else you got? You want to give us the rest of the tour of
Sure.
your
Yeah.
man cave basement?
So I showed you the dog pound fence.
Yeah, we saw that.
Here's like kind of like my collection of baseballs with different signatures and stuff.
Okay, which is your favorite one though? Which is your favorite one?
Oh, which
Do
is
you
my
have a favorite
favorite
one?
one? I don't know. Do I have a favorite one? There is a Jose foul ball that Jose signed. I don't
Sweet.
know where it is at the
Okay,
moment.
That's right. That's
But
pretty
my wife got a Jose foul ball, and it's signed by Jose, which is super cool. Oh, here. So this isn't a great photo now, but at the time it was awesome.
Okay.
So this is my wife with Shane Bieber, Mike Clevenger, and Trevor Bauer.
Dang.
And
I
they're
can
at
see
town
it now.
hall. And I took that picture. And
Was
so
that when they were still in AAA?
no, they were all with the Guardians. So Bieber's a rookie here.
Wow.
Bieber's a rookie.
They look so thin.
Bieber's a rookie. The reason I say like it, it's not as cool anymore is because like Bauer's got all that stuff going on, and even Clevenger's had like some domestic violence like stuff, and it's like, but we didn't know that at the time, okay?
Yeah.
And so that was the night before a Tribe Fest. And my wife like just took a shot in the dark and was like scrolling through their Instagrams and saw that they were at town hall. And she's like, we're going to town hall. And they're just, they're just sitting at the at a table, drinking beers, hanging out.
Yeah.
And she just walks up to Trevor Bauer and she's like, hey, can't wait to see you tomorrow. And they were just like, nobody else there knew who they were. Like only she
Really?
did. Yeah, nobody was talking to them. A couple of people after the fact, like after I took that picture, they were like, who are those guys? But I mean, like clearly, I mean, you see, like,
oh yeah,
like they're not unhappy. We have a couple of outtakes too. Actually, I gotta find one of the outtakes. I have it. I have a cool. Oh, where's it at? Maybe it's not. There's one where like Cleve is like poking at Bieber's cheeks and stuff. Like there was a couple of photos where they were making funny faces and things. So
Nice.
I have another cool thing since we're just talking about stuff. So I lived in Louisville for a little while, and these are newspapers from the Louisville newspaper when American Pharoah won the Triple Crown. Because I was there. I was there for the Kentucky Derby when he won the Triple Crown. And then, so I got the paper from the Kentucky Derby. And then when he actually won the Triple Crown, I got that paper too. And we saved both of those. So, yeah, that was a cool experience.
Nice.
Everybody's got the LeBron
Oh yeah.
championship framed. This is from the 22 game win streak. Those are a couple of the tickets that are in there when they still used to give you tickets.
Okay.
Have a couple of those, and I think that's mostly it. Of like notable things. The rest is just like random decoration. More signatures on like stuff like that, and then just my huge bobblehead collection. So here's all the Cavs ones.
Jeez.
Holy shit.
And then all sorts of Indians,
Cards.
Guardians, bobbleheads.
Love
All the 90s guys I have in a special spot. Oh, almost tripped. They're all right there.
Ooh.
Oh, I have one more great cool thing to show you. So this was my birthday present from my wife. Not this past year, but the year before. So this is
A lineup?
a 1995 Cleveland Indians lineup card.
Shut up.
Lofton, Vizquel, Baerga, Bell. Can't read that name, damn it.
Murray, Tomey, Ramirez, Sereno, and then Tucker, because Sandy was injured at that time. So this is actually they were away. So this isn't a home card. This is an away card. But it is signed by Mike Hargrove, and that's his handwriting.
Yeah.
His very elegant handwriting, Mr. Hargrove did.
Love it.
So yeah, she got me that super cool gift. I guess I do have one more other thing, kind of on that note. Like, sitting in my Progressive Field seats at my bar.
Nice.
We gotta go party at Shaw's house.
So I have some cool stuff down here. So it's a long time of collection, a long time of stuff.
Love it.
We're definitely having a party at Shaw's house. He doesn't know.
And I will say, like people are like, "Oh, that's your man cave." Most of this, idea wise, was my wife's idea, because she said when we moved into this house and we started to like do the basement, she goes, "I want the walls covered. I want it to look like a sports bar." And I was like, let's do it. Let's just put all the stuff. Like that photo is from my buddy John Rutter of Progressive Field with the fireworks. That's a photo downtown of Brown Stadium that he took from the helicopter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, just kind of random cool stuff here and there.
But before we close out the show, we do have to talk a little Cavs with you.
Okay. Yeah.
What is right now? Obviously, Tatum's back. Cade Cunningham is injured with a collapsed lung of all things. Well, I just felt a collapsed lung as soon as I just belched that out. Jesus. Do you have any concerns with this team going into the playoffs?
Yeah, health.
Is that your biggest concern?
I mean, it's been at least the last 2 years, right? Where we have not seemed to have had the full squad ready to go for the playoffs. Like, somebody has been injured, or a couple of guys have been injured or have gotten injured during the playoffs. Jarrett Allen, his initial injury was he knocked knees.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, and then they interviewed him after the game, and they're like, he's like, yeah, I'll be fine. Now all of a sudden that's knee tendonitis.
Yeah.
I have knee tendonitis. I can tell you that's extremely painful. Now I'm not a professional athlete, and a couple of shots might be able to fix that up for you. But if if Jarrett Allen's not available for the Cavs for the playoffs, I just don't see a long run. It could be another one series win and done. Now, I will say, last year, I felt like when they spanked Miami and set the record for the biggest margin of victory, I think going into the next series, they just thought it was going to be easy. I think they just got full of themselves. They thought they were going to coast their way through, and then guys started to get beat up and hurt, and I don't think they took that series seriously, and then that's why they kind of faltered. Now this year, I don't know. I think you just gotta just be healthy. Just be healthy, and you should be able to get a little bit farther than more than the second round. But that's my biggest concern is I want everybody to go in healthy, because there's just been so much what if with this team so far. And I do like, obviously they're not afraid to make bold moves, but I don't want them making moves when, like, okay, like, how do you make a decision on Jarrett Allen because he had a knee injury, and like, how do you decide if, like, because he doesn't fit?
Yeah.
That would just stink. That would stink to do. And I really like the team. Like, I really like. I have a quarter season package with the Cavaliers. I go to 10 games a year, and I have for the last several years. But the other day, my wife and I were at the Boston game, and she goes, I'm not sure we buy every playoff ticket this year. Like, you buy the strip, like, because that's an option, and we don't go to every game, but, like, you can pay for every game up front, and that guarantees you and when we got spanked by Boston, she goes, I don't know if we make that investment this year. Like, maybe we just buy the single games, the ones that we want to go to. And I was like, I understand. I get it. We got whooped by them, and I understand that, like I said at the beginning of this. So this is year 4, right? This will be the 4th year in a row that they've made it to the playoffs, and I hope they don't get bounced early again. So that's my biggest concern is the health of the team. I want everybody to be in healthy, but I was hanging out with my buddy yesterday, and I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts on this too. Is typically in a playoff series, you really only go like 8-9 deep.
Mm-hmm.
So who's your odd man out? Because the Cavs during the regular season have been like 11 deep, 12 deep.
That's been my biggest concern, is getting this lineup where it needs to be.
Yeah.
And I think, and I know health-wise, I get you with health, but I really do think, because, I mean, you have Schroeder, Ellis, you got Wade, you got Max Strus now, who is coming back off an injury. You got, like, to be honest, I'm loving the Amari Bryant. But, that's just me. I think Amari Bryant's a little bit more physical than Jared Allen. And that's kind of like my thing. But, like, how do you set this up? And I asked our Cavs expert across the Cavs, Zach Weiss, about this. I was like, how do you narrow this down?
Right.
It's going to be hard. And I'm like, but you got 13 games now. 13 games. This is where you figure out what your starting lineup is going to be in the playoffs and go after it, because at that point in time, you have to weed out some people. But I also like that everybody on this team, because we have not had a full strength team at all this year. I do like that they can go deep 13.
Well, but so if you had to pick 9, who's your 9?
All right, so it would be obviously Allen, Mobley, Harden, obviously
Mitchell.
Tyson,
So Tyson's in your top 5.
Yes.
Okay.
Tyson, Merrill,
Okay. 6.
Ellis.
Schroeder, Ellis. So that's 7, 8. So where's Struess? So is he 9?
Struess, and probably Dean Wade.
I was gonna say, where's Dean Wade in there? So that's 10.
So that's 10.
So that leaves out Bryant. That leaves out
That leaves out Tomlin. That leaves out Bryant. That leaves out Nance Jr. That leaves out.
Yeah, I would expect
Porter
Nance Jr.
who's played fucking great. But the thing is, though, is you have those guys on the bench that you trust now because they played so many games this year that if somebody does get injured in this scenario where I just picked out 10,
yeah,
you're comfortable with Bryant coming in. You're comfortable with Craig Porter Jr. coming in. You're comfortable with these guys coming in. That's where we're kind of – this is where this kind of sucks is like you have a solid – let's just say a solid 6 that you're going to play. And I really do think Jordan Tyson's in there. He better be in there.
Yeah, he's been really good. I wouldn't have pegged him for. He's been on the fringe lately because of like Ellis and Schroeder being a part of the team. Like he hasn't had as much playing time.
Exactly, and he hasn't had much. But when he's been in there as a starter, look what he did last night. He got 24 points.
Yeah, but also that was against a bad Bulls team that you shouldn't have given up a 30-point lead that you had.
But it happens in the NBA. Look at the stretch they're on. And this kid, this entire year, has been playing his ass off. He plays defense.
I love Jalen Tyson. I'm not arguing with you. I'm just kind of saying like what we're seeing is that he has been given a lesser role recently.
Oh, yes,
and
because they're trying to figure out this lineup.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry.
I love his game. I love his energy. I hope he is a part of the future at 100%. Yeah, they got some tough decisions. Like and I really do like Schroeder is one of those guys where when he's playing against you, you can't stand him. But when he's your asshole, you love him.
It's exactly like James Harden.
Yep. Now, you mentioned bringing Dean Wade into the playoff.
I don't want to. I like Dean Wade because he's a try-hard. That's just me. He is.
He's got to be. He's in the top 9. You can't say he's not.
No. Okay. I have freaking PTSD
now,
from this guy.
Now the show's going to go on for another 30 minutes because this is happening.
This is what you want.
So you're a Wade hater, all right?
No. I love Dean Wade in the regular season. Dean Wade in the playoffs dribbles down his leg. The lights are too bright. He's not very good. Points per game on average 2 points. Rebounds per game 3.4. Assists per game 0.8. Like shots per game 0.3. Like it's just he's all bad. Like he's just not. That's 3 years of data. That's terrible.
That's a great concern. That's a concern for Jarrett Allen. That is a concern for Evan Mobley. That is a concern for James Harden. And that's a concern for Jalen Tyson. We don't know what Jalen Tyson's going to be. Think about the point guard from last year that left for the Hawks. Blanking on his name. Too many weekend pops.
Not Garland.
No. Point guard. The backup point guard who. That left in free agency because we couldn't pay him.
Oh, Jerome. Ty Jerome.
Yes, Ty Jerome. Thank you. He disappeared in the playoffs. Completely disappeared in the playoffs. He was phenomenal in the regular season. Completely disappeared in the playoffs where they had to bench him.
And
He
so
did great against Miami. He just did terrible against Indiana.
But my point of that is that I hear you on Dean Wade. I hear you, but you can say that about pretty much anybody on the Cavs.
Well, you
not
can't say it
wrong.
about Harden yet. He hasn't done it in the Cavs uniform.
True. All right,
He's
fair.
had some really good series that, he was supposed to be the Robin to Kawhi Leonard's Batman, and Batman got injured, and all of a sudden Robin had to be Batman. Fatty's over there shaking his head, but this is all true facts. So I can't say that about Harden, but the other players, yes, I agree with you. Like,
I will say this.
Allen.
I will say that,
like, soft.
Yeah, I will say this about all of them. Dean Wade, Merrill, Allen, whoever. At some point, you guys have been there. You've done this. Like when now we've come full circle on all the teams in Cleveland. When are you going to develop? When are you going to take the step? Like we were talking about development with QBs with the Browns. We were talking about hitting development with the Guardians. How about playoff development? You've been there now for 3 years. You know what it takes. You know what the toughness is supposed to be. When are you going to step up and do it? Like, when is Dean Wade going to be regular season Dean Wade in the playoffs? When is Jared Allen's toughness going to show up in the playoffs? When is Evan Mobley going to take that next step and be the second best player on the court and not, a role player? When are you finally going to see these developments that you've been waiting for 3 freaking years at this point? Because it's been the same song and dance.
Cavs are not going to win a championship until Evan Mobley is the best player on the court. And if that doesn't happen,
he will never be the best player on the court because he is not that.
Well, are they going to trade him for Giannis?
Please.
Next question. Yeah, I think they should. I really do. If this is the all-in move that you're making, hey, and by the way, somebody we're not mentioning that might do a swan song in Cleveland.
Oh yeah. I've been told that that's a given.
That's a given.
Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo, LeBron, and
Jared Allen.
I've been hearing things about like there's already negotiations of like of documentary about that of that.
Serious.
Like, wait. How much chalk is involved in this?
Right. Yeah.
What's the camera angle? What's the camera angle for that chalk?
Think about it, because I don't know how the financials are going to work out because would LeBron have to take a veteran minimum to come to the Cavs? He would. Why not? If he can make $50 million in a Netflix documentary,
his pride. That's why.
Oh,
well, then he can't come here.
His pride's been gone the last 2 years in LA Lakers. You got to be kidding me right now.
Have you seen him cry like a little baby on the court? His pride is not gone, my friend.
I'm not saying. I'm saying when they traded for Luka and said, "Hey, you got to take a back seat to Luka," that's where the crying starts.
Well, but he would have to take a back seat here, and for the person and the person that told me this, and when we were talking about this, that it was like LeBron's coming back. I said, okay, but if he's coming back, like he knows he's not going to be the alpha anymore, right? Like he'll take he's going to be a wing player and a role player. Like he's not going to be. I don't want to see ISO ball LeBron sitting at the top of the key, dribbling until there's 6 seconds left on the shot clock, driving to the basket, and then kicking it to the corner to Sam Merrill. Like, I don't want to see that over and over and over and over and over and over. Yes, I know that won the championship, but like, that's not what LeBron is anymore.
Yeah, fair.
So,
well.
But even so, but financially, you Brian, you were saying he's not going to take that veteran minimum.
I doubt it.
But then what are you going to do to get him here?
I don't know. I do the NBA and their salary stuff is such a extreme math equation that I have tried to dive into it for so long, and I'm like, I can't figure it out. So I'm just like, when people throw hypotheticals, I go, oh, okay, does this work? I go to our guy Zach Weiss. I go, hey, what do you think, Zach? And he goes, nope, not gonna happen. I go, okay, we're good.
Yeah, I the thing is that I think for LeBron, I think coming back to Cleveland is more than the money that he would make for the team. And given that, like, part of the reason why he went to LA was bigger than basketball,
Yeah,
is I don't think what the Cavs can pay him is relevant. I think it's like that's whatever. It's about being back on the team that he thinks could win a championship again with him, and going out and promoting that this is the last year of LeBron. I'm back where I started. You know, that all of that extracurricular stuff.
yeah.
Now, will that end in disaster because of it? Could. But like the thing is that at the time and back in 2016, apparently that team was a drama-filled mess.
Yeah.
We didn't know about it until later, but they still won a championship.
It's true. That's
So,
true. All right.
well, boys, this was a lot of fun.
I'm glad you had fun. This is how we do Friday nights, Brian. This is how we do it. It's just open forum for the most part, and we just have a good time.
Well, thank you. I initially thought, like, Mike was like, "Hey, you're joining, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." My wife's out of town. I was like, I'll probably be coming back from dinner, and I'll be, like I said, a couple of weekend pops deep. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll pop on for a little bit because you guys needed a quote for the draft party and for the Browns. And then I get on, and you guys are like, no, Mike's not coming. I was like, what? I was like, I thought this was a Mike. This was a Mike day.
Well, listen, now Mike gets his we get to grill Mike with questions next week while he's on his own now. He doesn't get to bring you in for backup.
Actually, 2 weeks.
Oh, in 2 weeks,
brother.
in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Well,
Hopefully he's not sick again.
Either way, I mean, I had a lot of fun. I really appreciated talking to you guys and sharing some beverages and honestly too, like I this was a great opportunity to just kind of talk everything Cleveland sports. Because our focus is Guardians, but I have a lot to say about the Browns clearly, and I follow the Cavs. Like, I'd say I don't know nuance of NBA basketball like I do Major League Baseball. I know that is a gap of mine. Like, I watch all the games, but I don't know when it comes to like, seeing like pick and rolls and things. I'm like, I don't know. That guy made a great move, and that was an awesome dunk. And I know LeBron's iso ball stuff and like how that plays, but like when we're talking about, like, I know a lot of advanced analytics when it comes to baseball, and I can pick up on that kind of like nuance and stuff, but basketball is my gap when it comes to understanding like advanced things. Like I'm just kind of watching the game in awe of, man, these guys just hit shots at will. And I know I can go to my rec center and I'll be lucky to hit 4 of 10 from free throws.
You get that many?
Same.
Same. Brian, thank you for. That's why we created the Lake Effect Lounge. It's just raw, uncut. Everybody's drinking, having a good time, and getting the raw emotions out of it. So, hey, Bud, thank you so much for joining. Can't wait to see you here in about a month, 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And I'll have a specialty shot lined up for you when you meet the fat man.
All right. Yeah,
So,
I think I'm gonna bring a couple of buddies of mine. I had pitched it to them. They said it sounded like a good idea. So
all right. Perfect. We'll have it all set up for you, and you can sit there and just berate on the Browns when they make a horrible pick at 6.
I was gonna say when they do something stupid, that's the meme. What is it? Hang on, watch. They're about to do something stupid.
All right, bud. Thank you so much. Have a great night, buddy.
You too. Take care, guys.
See you, bud.
Cheers.
All right, bud. Lake Effect Lounge. Almost a 2-hour show tonight.
Hey, listen, this is good prep for us for the epic mock draft that's coming up. Let's not get too far into it, but it was a good night.
All right, so we will not be here next week.
Yes.
Fatty is on vacation. Brian is on vacation, but you can catch us the week after. So what is that? April 3rd, I believe we will be back live with Lake Effect Lounge. So join us here on at Network 216. Give us that click, like, and subscribe. And guys, we will see you in a couple weeks. Have a great night.
See you, Cleveland.